Hi, guys and gals. Greg Howe, S9 Radio. Thanks for tuning in and tagging along. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you a tried and true stealth antenna. Actually, I've got several types of stealth antennas I've had to employ for one reason or another. This particular antenna I'm going to call the tree antenna, and it was out of necessity. I lived in an HOA that was very closely guarded. I mean, they were even down on people putting up satellite dishes, the small ones, without having an approval from the HOA. And they were fairly vigilant walking around, looking at things. So my first tree antenna was a Shakespeare super big stick. But I had some concerns with the camo paint, or any paint for that matter, as many of the modern day paints utilize metallic pigmentations to help thwart off fading. And of course, placing anything metallic around an antenna is never a good idea. And then I thought, well, perhaps heat shrink sleeving. And same thing, the camouflage colored heat shrink sleeving may or may not have some metallic pigmentation, let alone the fact the thickness of the heat shrink sleeving is almost certainly going to alter the antenna's velocity factor. Now, in a perfect vacuum, radio waves travel at the speed of light. In the real world, they travel at a lesser speed, and any type of coating on a radiating conductor, whether it be a piece of wire or an antenna, is going to alter the velocity factor. So what does this mean? It means less is better. If you opt to go with camo paint, use it sparingly. The fiberglass absorbs the paint material nicely. Depending on your climatic conditions, you can expect 5 or more years before any touch-up is required, and you don't want to go on heavy with the paint, applying coat after coat after coat, as once again there's a good chance it's going to alter the velocity factor. And then of course the metallic content is unknown, and you certainly don't want any mysterious side effects entering the equation. Also means if you do decide to go with heat shrink, it does not affect the antenna's performance, providing it's been retuned or pruned back into resonance. Okay, here's where the tree antenna all starts. This is a lightweight saltwater bass pole. I've got some 30-pound test spider wire. It's kind of a Kevlar. And I like this better than monofilament, because chances are you're not going to get the perfect placement. I'm using a crocodile. I think this is a crocodile. It's like an aluminum zinc or something, and it is tapered. So it will pull up through the trees if you get a bad placement, which will happen. Anyways, back to this spider wire. The reason I like this is it doesn't reflect light. And chances are you are going to miss your placement a few times, and you might even lose your line. And if you're using monofilament, you know, a couple misses, a monofilament hanging from the tree, it's going to look like tinsel on a Christmas tree when the sunlight hits it. And a lot of you people doing these tree antennas are going to be kind of stealth, trying to avoid detection. So should some of this get hung up in the tree and you not be able to get it back, including the weight, good reason not to use a chrome lure. So that's how I get started with, you know, casting this up over the top of the tree. And then I tie a small 125-pound test polystrand. And then I'll pull this up through, and then I'll use this to pull an even heavier rope up through. Okay, here's a close-up of the pull rope assembly. This IMAX is going to be like a sail on a sailboat mast, and this rope will be used to hoist the IMAX up into the tree. To minimize rope abrasion, I've got a nice polished marine shackle for the rope to slip and slide around on, and then a good metal-to-metal connection here. Okay, I've got the IMAX and the tree pulley system all rigged up. As mentioned, a polished marine shackle here. This is the pull rope coming up through both U-bolts to give it some self-righting action. And then I'm using a pulley. And the reason for this pulley is if you just throw a fishing line up over a branch and then use that to pull a rope through, Depending on how long you leave it in the tree and the type of tree, there's a good chance that tree is going to overgrow the rope, or the rope's going to cut into the tree, and you're going to lose your antenna. You're not going to be able to get your antenna down. And even with this pulley system, I highly recommend you have a pull rope on the downhill side where you can yank that antenna back down. There could be tree branches and other growth that gets in the way, hampering its removal. And also, I'm not worried so much about the antenna coming down, but wear some protection, a helmet. There's a good chance when I'm pulling things up, a branch could come down. It's been raining pine cones lately. So what will take place now is I'm going to go ahead and bring the pulley up into the tree, way up high, and then this rope, the white one, will be used to raise the antenna. Okay, wanted to give you a final look of the rigging before everything goes way up into the tree. I've already got the pulley on its pull rope up there, and then this is the tether rope that I'll use to bring the antenna up. But I've still got probably another 30 or 40 feet of drawing the pulley up into the tree. And then take note of the sprinkler pipe, the 1-inch galvanized sprinkler pipe. That acts as a counterweight, and I'll be attaching some more to that, and that kind of allows me from the ground to steer the thing around a little up through the branches. And I like doing hose clamps as opposed to threading the pipes together with a coupler. The reason is I can walk the pipe up, so I can start the pipe way up high and slowly raise it and have everything clamped together, and then tighten it all down when I get to the height and the length of overlap that I'm looking for. And once in a while, I'm lucky enough to find a tree branch where I can actually relieve the tension of the rope and the pulley system and just kind of set it in place on a tree branch, meaning the big IMAX mounting bracket there, and just have the rope there as kind of keeping everything in place. And that the ropes and everything last a lot longer, and there is a better chance of getting your pulley rope back. And the pulley rope is somewhat sacrificial. I may not get it back, I might. You never know, but at least I'm for sure I'll be able to get my antenna back. So, alrighty, here we go. Okay, well there you have it, the tree tenna, aka the IMAX-2000, reaching for the clouds. I'm guesstimating the tip of the IMAX to be about 75 feet, and I did this single-handedly with about $30 in ropes, a pulley, and a marine shackle, and then of course the tower supplied by Mother Nature. The IMAX-2000 tree tenna. Okay, you've just seen how easy it is getting the tree antenna up in the air. Now let's have a look at how quickly it comes down. Let's say you want to adjust the match, perhaps some long-term maintenance, touch-up of the camo paint, or inspection of the rope, rigging, and pulley system. Let's untie the antenna's tether rope from the eye hook mounted at the base of the tree, followed by a gentle tug on the coax, and the whole assembly starts sliding down. And then I've got a couple hose clamps to remove, get that pipe out of the way, slide it down some more, and then another set of hose clamps that needs to be loosened. And then I'll continue sliding the antenna down until it comes to rest on the final 10-foot section of sprinkler pipe still attached to the IMAX-2000 mounting bracket, with the whole assembly still in an upright vertical position thanks to the light tension applied to the antenna's tether rope, greatly aiding the solo installer, or for anybody performing service or adjustment for that matter. Now, here's a pro tip that should eliminate the possibility of a pesky tree branch getting in between the pull rope and the tip of the antenna, which can really create some headaches up in a tree. Take about a 1/2 inch of masking tape and apply it over the rope right at the very tip of the antenna. And this way, when you're drawing the antenna up into the pulley, the masking tape will tear away and the antenna will continue onward and upward Okay, guys and gals, hopefully this video has given some of you the inspiration and the motivation to get her done. Stay tuned. I've got a whole arsenal of antennas I'm dying to share with you. So the bottom line is the possibilities are endless for those that choose to push the envelope and think outside the box. And with that, I'll say stay tuned and 73. Greg, S9 Radio.